quality tertiary education for students in all countries in Sub-Saharan Africa can only be achieved with enough qualified and skilled faculty. Adequate planning for recruitment, development, and retention of faculty is therefore needed. However, the lack of current statistics, insights, and data on the estimated needs makes it challenging to plan effective solutions. It further presents the threat of destabilization to the sector with serious consequences on quality, relevance, and efficiency if not properly addressed.
The Demographics of African Faculty project is being implemented by a consortium. What it aims to do is to build the capacity in Africa to be able to provide data to support policies.
As a strategic response, the Demographics of African Faculty Phase 2 DAF EAC project is being undertaken by an international consortium comprising the Inter-University Council for East Africa IUCEA, Education Sub-Saharan Africa ESSA, and the Association of African Universities AAU and Population Reference Bureau PRB.
Education Sub-Saharan Africa, or ESSA, is the administrative lead partner on the Demographics of African Faculty project, which we shorten to DAF project. And so we are the organization that engages directly with the funder of the project. That's the Carnegie Corporation of New York. And we liaise with the other partners in the project. That's the Association of African Universities, the Inter-University Council of East Africa, and then Population Reference Bureau, or PRB. So together, we're working on this project to really understand what the challenges are in our universities in the East African community. So the universities that are members of the Inter-University Council for East Africa. So there were 134 universities that we started the project with.
The IUCEA is on the ground in the East African region, and we are the one to be able to coordinate data collection and the data management. We are playing a very critical role in coordinating the in-country researchers.
The Demographics of African Faculty Phase 1 of the project was implemented in Ghana as a pilot. What we did under that pilot, we worked with the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, and we worked with the institutions in Ghana to be able to map out the faculty needs for universities in Ghana. And this exercise was influenced by a new policy which the government of Ghana had passed related to senior high school education being free. So we wanted to understand the impact of that policy on faculty planning. So we're able to produce a policy document to advise the government how best to prepare for the impact of that free senior high school education in Ghana.
With a $390,000 funding from the Carnegie Corporation of New York, the DAF consortium, including the Inter-University Council for East Africa, is undertaking a 2-year research project on the challenges that higher education institutions in the East African community face.
We actually look at specific problematic areas related to faculty and go backwards to say, how can we use data to lobby for more faculty, to lobby for more training of academic staff to service the universities, and be able to express that in a way that the government can understand it, so that it can establish appropriate policies to support higher education.
Part of what ESSA has done with this project as well is do some background research, desk-based research in collaboration with the Inter-University Council of East Africa to say what are the existing solutions that others are trialing that we may be able to adapt in some of our universities to overcome these challenges. Furthermore, COVID came and exacerbated a problem that was already existing in terms of the faculty challenges. So we've done some research as well to understand what has the impact of COVID-19 been on the faculty challenges in these universities, and if there are lessons to be learned as well, what are the positives that we can learn from the impact of COVID as well, to make sure that going forward the universities are well equipped to be able to address these faculty challenges.
These researches are conducted in collaboration with some teaching and non-teaching staff from the universities in the East African community.
The number of faculty student-teacher ratio is very low, and we can see the higher percentage of the faculty are at lecturer level. Professors just 3%, and for you to be promoted to the ranks associate professor and professor, you need to have more publications, you must have won grants, and therefore if these people are not much aware of grants, how will they do research and how will they publish? That's why I'm seeing it linked to the project, the DAF project.
From the field, actually, we realized that there are few numbers of PhDs, especially in the private institutions. So one of the opportunities I'm seeing is that I would wish for the government to assist faculty in private institutions, since they also contribute to faculty or human capital development in the country.
If we compare the distribution of the faculty by gender, we found few female are observed in the higher education system in the country, and also we noticed that also in the other countries of the East Africa community it's the same. So it is very important to try to improve this, to correct, to try to mobilize female to undertake long studies and to be one of faculty in Africa.
The DAF consortium will provide data required to propel stakeholders to take urgent steps towards achieving effective and globally competitive higher education systems.
It's an opportunity for the information that are generated by the DAF model for the decision makers to do the informed decision, the evidence-based data that can help them to decide. So whether, based on the current situation, and the information that can be generated from the model, it can tell them how many students we have now and how many faculty we have now and how many will we need after maybe some few years. And then if you want to know how many faculty we need to add in different disciplines, it is possible to get it out of the DAF model, as well as the gender balance. You can also, the model can also give you the projection on how many female faculty we need after some times.
One of the opportunities, for instance, include the number of professors, existing professors in respective institutions who are qualified. This being opportune, the need for collaboration would enhance the contribution of these respective lecturers to the quality of education throughout the entire East African community countries.
It is this data that will make us to plan and see where the gaps are. For example, when we talk of the policies like the capacity of how many students does a faculty want to enroll across discipline within a given semester, and then also at the same time to see the capacity of recruiting staff and hiring them into each and every faculty, such that the ratio of a student to actually the professors become the really balance that should suit the interest of what the Inter-University Council of East Africa policy is actually talking about.
It is my hope that the universities are going to accept this, that the universities are going to adopt this, they use it as a planning tool for their particular programs, so that they do not have excess lecturers, they do not have a lack of lecturers in the coming years in particular programs as days go by.
I want to appreciate the Inter-University Council of East Africa for organizing this, And I feel it should not be the end of it. At least once in a while, people across the East African countries should meet in this way and share their experiences and observations from all this, and from within they will be able to exploit the opportunity which are there, and they will be able to see what are the threats and the challenges that can give them to become strong in order to move forward.
The Education Sub-Saharan Africa and the Association of African Universities, the Populations Reference Bureau, and the Inter-University Council for East Africa remain fully committed to working collaboratively towards understanding and addressing faculty challenges that higher education institutions in the East African community face, with the hope to replicate same efforts in other regions of the continent.